It is McKee Masters Monday night, Florida McKee Patreon channel. If you are here, you're at the $20 subscription level. I am sorry that this took so long to get out. Had a lot going on today, but it was a topic that I think I probably bit off more than I could chew to try to get the idea of this across in just a 10-minute video or thereabouts is something that not easy. When we think about psychological operations and the effect they're going to have on people, excuse me for one moment while I close out some pictures. There we go. Things always seem to come around to people's faith systems, because what they think is usually clouded by either their lack in the belief of a higher power or their specific higher power, whether it be a Mormon, whether it be a Jew, whether it be Buddhist, Christian, doesn't matter. All of the decisions that people make have this subtext to it. Now, one of the easier ways to get people into a mental state where they're off balance is to throw an idea like this up next to this. That if everyone is born a blank slate, and that literally every impression, every sound, every experience starts creating a new and unique individual, then this cannot be true. Because everything about that individual would have already been decided. Therefore, the things we do or the things that we don't do don't really have an effect one way or the other. Now, simple observation can tell you that this is not the case, that children that grow up in ABC kind of home turn out XYZ way, and children that grow up in 1, 2, 3 home turn out 4, 5, 6 way. It's just the case. It's nature, nurture. There's some things that can be mucked with and some things that can't, but it just is. So if somebody is choosing to think something or choosing to act in a certain way, the psychological operation you can run is that, well, I guess coming where you come from, you didn't really have a choice, or I guess that's what God wanted for you. Either way, if they deny one, they accept the other. If they accept the one, they deny the other. And no matter which road they take, you have them. Because if they take this concept of nature determining everything, that pretty much excludes an all-powerful God that would be in control of everything. If you take the tack that they are just walking through the motions that were already predetermined for them, then none of their decisions mean anything. And what they think, what they feel, what they believe, in this case, talking about who they vote for, isn't going to make any difference. You know, God already decided. It's already predetermined. It's just going to be rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, so to speak. Not going to matter where that chair is or this chair is. And anybody that would push back against that and say, well, no, I mean, in 2016, we did something great. We went out and put signs in our yard, put bumper stickers on our cars, and wore hats and did all this, like it was going to matter. The two things literally argue with each other. It's in psychological warfare. There's no way they can argue one and the same. It just doesn't work. And so if you ever run into somebody who's attempting to push back, you can always throw them into this state of mind, no matter what they're saying or what they're thinking or what they're believing. Because once you have them here, they're going to be laying in bed probably that night trying to figure out whether they're responsible for their own decisions or whether God had anything to do with it. Because if he's all-powerful, God, then he wouldn't go into any kind of a joint effort with flawed, fallen, corrupt man to determine that man's outcome. Now, I'm not speaking here from personal belief. Don't make this mistake right now. I'm speaking of how psychological operations work and how you can use religion and how you can use secular thinking to get people having a one-person mental game of ping pong going on, which means they're not paying attention to anything else. So at this level of psychological operations, it gets pretty intense. And I've stated this before about what you can do to people. We've seen it at the channel in a couple of different occasions where I've kind of baited some people into looking at things that don't paint the current administrator in a great light. And we, time and time again, see that they will always fall back to another path, talking about another person, or only choice, or... I really did. When a lot of them said, well, it was our only choice. Well, you don't have choice. God determines all this. Because that's one of their big arguments. Well, God had his hand on this and God had his hand on that. Well, okay, well then what you did had nothing to do with it. You know, you even showing up to vote, nothing to do with it. Why bother? Why put yourself through all of it? You know, you can get these folks going round and round and round and round and round in denial. And some of them will, one of the biggest indicators that you have succeeded is you will get people that will type 6, 8, 10, and 12 paragraphs, 15 links, just entire books explaining how that they are both right and wrong at the same time. So, anyway, we will get into the paths of guilt and shame at another point because it's a little bit, it ties into this. Because when people feel like they've done a good job, they feel good emotions. When people feel like they've done something wrong or have been mistaken, they have the shame and they have the remorse and usually the excuse making. And it just goes back and forth. And these are the kind of things that you want to, if you're going to get somebody off their footing psychologically, you have to get them running in circles mentally first. And once you can practice doing that and learning that, they'll eventually realize they're running in circles until you give them a path out. And that's what cult leaders do. What they do is they enter option 3. And they create all sorts of different elaborate schemes that explain both why A is wrong and B is wrong. It's because they're option C. So, but we will leave it there. So sorry about this being so late. It's just been one of those kind of days where things just kind of got away from me, but we will talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate your support. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks.